Humility, courage, integrity, compassion, fairness, self-sacrifice, devotion, honor. I shall never compromise in my fight against evil. I shall never back down in my goal to uplift the downtrodden. I shall never betray my loyalty to my companions.
It's loyalty to justice. Oh, Lycaon, I can't believe you're having trouble memorizing such simple lines. Could it be that there's something wrong with you here?
Shut it! Speaking of, why am I the only one who has to recite these cheesy-as-all-hell lines?
Because my performance is impeccable, and so I need no extra training. You, on the other hand, have slipped up thrice already.
So what? We've still got the job done.
Using violence every time is so very boring. In any case, I want far more than just this. Imagine it, Lycaon. One day, we will be like those who stand at the top, under the spotlight of praise and defamation, admiration and loathing, faith or betrayal. So, doesn't that sound super entertaining?
Save your daydreams for after we get this job done.
It looks like I'm a step too late. It matters not. It's about time for a reunion, dear traitor.
Worry not. Mastery of my skills will come in time. But there's something more important I would like to teach you. Something about faith.
Does a phantom thief even need faith?
Of course. What else would we fight for?
For wealth, fame, and power to stand at the top, so nothing and no one can imprison us. Isn't that what everyone desires? Or perhaps by faith, do you mean something asinine and empty, like justice, dreams, or friendship? Hilarious. Grow up, Lycaon. It's time to let go of your naive fantasies of being some almighty savior.
You just don't get it.
All right, enough squabbling. What I'm trying to teach you is very simple. I may not walk the path of justice, but I do not walk the path of evil. There's too much injustice in this world, and there are times when it becomes necessary to right those wrongs with unconventional methods. Taking lives, however, is out of the question. Life is a precious gift, one that nobody has the right to steal. No one should have the authority to judge whether another lives or dies. Keep that in mind.
I will.
You don't seem convinced, Hugo.
As you mentioned, this world is unjust. That's why we must strive to bring fairness to this world. Those who cause harm should face consequences, just as those who take lives should. But not all lives hold the same value. Sometimes, you may need to eliminate one if it means saving more.
You're too proud. Your pride may lead you astray.
I have my own path and beliefs, Jack. I'll determine for myself what's fair and unfair.
Hey, watch your mouth. If it weren't for Jack, you'd be dead already.
You're a smart kid, Hugo. Skilled too. You could easily take the life of a sinner. However, what if one day you found out you were wrong? What if that so-called sinner were innocent? Could you bring them back to life?
I wouldn't make that mistake.
To err is human. Everyone is bound to make mistakes. It's good you are open with your thoughts. I just don't want your troubled past to weigh you down. Do Because your hatred doesn't define you. It only eats away at you.
You wanted to speak to me alone?
I know you and Hugo are as thick as thieves and don't hide anything from one another. But you can't tell him what I'm about to tell you.
Did something happen with him?
Hugo is an intelligent and gifted child. He learns everything I teach with ease. In time, he'll grow beyond me. Reach a place where people will marvel and look up to him as a beacon.
Yeah. As much as I hate to admit it, he always picks things up just a teeny bit quicker than me. But none of that matters, because I can overpower him easy.
I don't think being gifted is a good thing for him.
What do you mean?
He bears a dark and painful past. What he was taught, the hatred he was faced with, everything he picked up. It's all become an integral, inseparable part of him. I believe that beautiful flowers can blossom even in the darkest abyss. But the roots of that flower would draw from evil instead of good. Hatred instead of love. It's a curse that flows through his lineage. A curse that fate branded him with. I've seen far too many people like that throughout this long life of mine. They struggle with this curse their whole lives. But they all end up failing in the end. The path of light is narrow and fleeting. And the darkness is filled with such temptation that dropping your guard for even just a moment can send you spiraling straight into the abyss.
Do you mean Hugo's going to be a bad guy?
I don't know. I hope he'll always stay true to his heart. That he won't give in to hatred and ambition. That he won't become the dragon that must be slain. But he has inherited the seed of evil. You cannot let it take root. I'm afraid I won't be there to help you. There's not much life left in this old body of mine. So then, Lycaon, promise me now. You must hold his chain tight. To restrain him. To stop him. And when necessary, to choke him.
Thankfully, Jack went in peace.
He must have known about his condition for some time. He even left us with instructions. Passing peacefully in your sleep is the most natural way to go. I'm happy for him. By the way, Lycaon, have you given it any thought yet?
You mean about our guild for Phantom Thieves?
Yeah. It's time for us to build an organization of our own. Jack always supported the idea, didn't he?
I don't have any objections. But what should we call it then?
How about Mockingbird? It's a bird known for mimicking the calls of others to blend in. The same way we don high society roles for ourselves when we're out on a mission. Oh, oops. I nearly forgot. You're a terrible actor, and you're always flubbing your lines. I guess we can rule out that name then.
No, call it Mockingbird. We're always just putting on an act, aren't we? I won't slip up on our next mission. Besides, we still ran missions together even when we didn't have a name. Having one now won't really make a difference.
No. It does make a difference, Lycaon. And I don't just want a name. I want Mockingbird to become a symbol. Like the sword of Damocles hanging over everyone's heads. Striking fear into the hearts of the rich and cruel whenever they hear the name. Just like Jack used to say, this world isn't fair. So that's why we have to influence it however we can. And change things in our own way.
But on the basis of not causing harm to other people's lives. That's also what Jack used to say. You remember, don't you?
Of course I remember. All right, I promise.
That sounded pretty forced. Don't forget, things don't end well for people who break their oaths.
I'm good for my word. You must trust your fellow companions. That's also something Jack would say. Well then, today's the day that Mockingbird will officially start flying. Our first order of business, deciding on our symbol.
Are you okay, Lycaon? You've been quiet for a while.
My apologies, Master Proxy. I was just reminded of some past memories. Before Hugo and I founded Mockingbird, we had a mentor, Jack. He took us under his wing when we were in dire straits, imparting his skills and life lessons. But Hugo didn't agree with his viewpoints. Perhaps our paths were always fated to diverge.
I've been curious for a while now. What caused you two to split?
Mockingbird, faced numerous triumphs, but also setbacks. And one of them was a disastrous one. Hugo, you... Was this you? All this?
So what if it was?
Have you gone crazy? Have you been planning this all along? You'd bury all these lives in the name of vengeance?
They deserve to die. Especially my so-called father. I should have killed him a long time ago. A really long time ago. You know what, Lycaon? There's some people whose only purpose in life is to bring more suffering into this world. Sometimes murder is what brings justice back into this world. And for that, I must stain these hands in blood.
Enough! I can't trust anything you say anymore. I'm leaving Mockingbird, now!
Where are you going?
Anywhere. Someone from the Mayflowers got in touch with me before.
Are you mad? You know what those hypocrites in city administration are like. They're no different from tops. We fought them together all this time, and now you're leaving to serve as their lapdog. Are you going to turn your back on Mockingbird? Turn your back on me?
The mayor is different from the others. But it doesn't matter. I'm not going to even try convincing you. As your friend, I'll give you one last piece of advice. Please, stop here. Otherwise, the day will come where your hatred and ambition will consume you.